Want to see early content and more from The Cinema Snob? Become a supporter over at patreon.com/thecinemasnob, where you get to see early viewings of new episodes. Plus, you can see installments of our supersized episodes, including the first parts of our upcoming 1962 in film episode. All that and more over at patreon.com/thecinemasnob.
Welcome, everyone. Ooh, I love doing these episodes. I'm all comfortable, got my water here, got my dad flannel on. I'm good. It was a little hot in here, though, so I'm a tad bit late. Had to make sure the thermostat was set to the right. Like, wow, I really am a dad now. Anyway. I love doing these. I'm so excited. I splashed a little bit of water on my face. I love doing these ChatGPT versions of the Cinema Snob where I read through the script that we've done Paranormal Activity in the past. I think we did an Oogie Loves episode. This one, what you're going to see is how does ChatGPT write the Cinema Snob, doing Friday the 13th, and we'll also do Nightmare on Elm Street as well. But first, got to get the obligatory stuff out of the way. We've got more 1962 in film material over on Patreon right now at patreon.com/thecinemasnob, and the upcoming Cinema Snob episode on It's Alive, the 2009 remake, is there. Things have started to be going up on Patreon a little bit even more in advance than before, to the point to where I kind of confused Sean at one point, Sean Millington, the title card artist. So I had, when I had It's Alive 3 Island of the Alive still on Patreon, but there had been so much time between when I wrote it and posted and made it and put it up on Patreon that in my head I was like a couple episodes ahead. So when I wrote to him, I hadn't asked for the title card for It's Alive 3 yet, but I was working on the It's Alive remake. So I write to him, I'm like, oh yeah, the next episode that's going up, it's for the It's Alive remake. And then I remembered, oh right, I haven't actually made It's Alive 3 public yet. So I wrote to him again. He writes back. He's like, yeah, I was actually really confused about that because I saw you put a link on Patreon for It's Alive 3. I'm like, yeah, It's Alive. The remake's coming up in a couple of weeks. But if you're not on Patreon yet, you're gonna like the one that I put up there on Monday, the Cinema Snob episode that I got. That's coming up after the It's Alive 2009 remake. I'm starting to be like, okay, is this the one coming up? Which one's on Patreon? Which one's public yet? I don't want to confuse myself. So the one that I had a blast writing this one that's, again, coming up after the remake of It's Alive. And it is another remake, not of It's Alive, but just another remake that's coming up after that one. I had an amazing time writing it. It's going to tie in with a movie that's coming out, or actually it ties in with a remake. The Snob episode, I'm already confused. The Snob episode is on the original, not the remake, for something that's coming up. So it's a particularly longer episode of The Snob, but I had a blast. I'll see in the chat if anyone is guessing it. But anyway, I'm working on fumes here right now, people, to be perfectly honest. That's another reason why I like doing the ChatGPT Cinema Snob episodes, because it's like, well, I'm reading from a script. I shouldn't get too terribly tongue-tied. Another piece of homework that I got here. See, Bert's outside there. Bert's got his lines down. He's got his meows down. He's on cue. He's not stammering and stuttering nearly as much as me. It wouldn't be an episode of the live stream without Bert wanting in and wanting to make a cameo. But we got a convention appearance coming up. I think it's our first convention of the year. First convention appearance coming up. Days of the Dead, Chicago, which will be March 22nd through the 24th. I'll be there all weekend long. I'll be there all 3 days. Doug, Saturday and Sunday. I'll have copies of Class of '86, not the Bruce edition. I won't have the Bruce edition of the one with the mistakes in it. It'll be the updated versions of it that I sent out for the other day. But we'll have a lot more cons coming up in the year as well. But first one coming up the end of March, Days of the Dead Chicago. Hope to see you there. So, all right. We got all of that stuff out of the way. When I ask ChatGPT to write these episodes, I do it. I have a couple of windows open. Like I have one that is like a continuing thread, which is why the ones that are in the continuing thread will have some of the same, not the same jokes, but sometimes some of the same speak from the others. Like when AI Cinema Snob calls the audience his snobsters and says things like stay snobby and whatnot. That's all in the same thread, so it kind of picks up on those. But there have been times where I'll ask for a review or something, and it'll be written almost a little bit too straightforward. So I'll open up just like a separate thread to see if like any extra jokes are added to it. It's kind of what I did with Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th will be the first one that I read here. It was a separate window originally that I did for Friday the 13th, and I kind of read through it. It had like one good joke in it. I sort of like skim it because I do like I need to skim it enough to be like, okay, there's enough like really kind of bad jokes in here and everything. This could kind of work. But skimming it enough to where when I'm reading it here, that reactions are still like relatively genuine. Like I don't quite know everything it says, just sort of the tone or if it's too serious or not. So when I first entered it in for Friday the 13th, it was a little bit too straightforward. I was reading it going like, honestly, this is better than the episode that I did like 10 years ago or whenever that was. There was like one good joke in it where AI said that the characters are as deep as a kiddie pool. I was like, well, I kind of like that joke, but let me go to the Snobsters thread and see what that one was like. And already I could kind of tell that it was a little bit sillier than the other one. So like, okay, kiddie pool joke aside, I'll go with the Snobsters version of what they think I'll say about Friday the 13th. So let's go ahead and do this, people. I want to get to it right away. I've dawdled enough. I'll take another drink of water though. All right, first up we'll do Friday the 13th, and then we'll do Nightmare on Elm Street, and then it'll be your super chat questions and comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me tonight. All right, pull this up, scroll up to, let me find it real quick. It's all it actually is kind of a long thread. There's a lot of episodes that I've like attempted out of curiosity on here just to see what it would say. Like when I saw for I must have asked it to also do The Shining at some point. I don't know if I ever read that one. I might have just been genuinely curious what it would say. Okay, here we go. All right, we are ready to do AI Cinema Snob reviews Friday the 13th. The Cinema Snob sits in his familiar theater room, sweet, surrounded by movie posters, movie posters, and dimly lit by the glow of the screen. Oh, okay. Well, dimly lit, I was like, yeah, okay, that might be like an older episode. By the glow of the screen. Like there's an era of the Cinema Snob where I'm just sitting in front of a television. I wouldn't have been surprised in the older episodes if that's what my light source was. Just the television in front of me. He holds up a DVD case with the title Friday the 13th prominently displayed. Already incorrect. I would hold up the VHS. Cinema Snob with a mischievous grin. My dear snobsters. You know it's an AI episode. My dear snobsters, it's time to explore the murky depths of Camp Crystal Lake as we take on the horror classic Friday the 13th. Get ready for screams, scares, and a certain hockey-masked killer. How does artificial intelligence even get that wrong? AI would not make it past the first scene. Would not make it past the first scene in Scream. It just does not know its horror trivia very well. The Cinema Snob introduces Friday the 13th, recounting its significance in the horror genre and its impact on pop culture. The Cinema Snob, nodding. Released in 1980, Friday the 13th took the slasher genre by storm, introducing audiences to the iconic Jason Voorhees and setting the stage for countless sequels, spin-offs, or the TV series, I guess, arguably, the NES game, and imitators. Okay, well, that's accurate. But does this original entry still hold up today? Let's find out. The Cinema Snob delves into the setting of Camp Crystal Lake and its role in establishing the film's atmosphere. The Cinema Snob leaning forward. Whoa, I don't want to get too close because in this version I'm right in front of the television set as my light source. The Cinema Snob where is it? Leaning forward. Okay, I'm at the part where I'm leaning forward. All right. Camp Crystal Lake, the quintessential summer getaway. Or is it? With its dark woods, eerie cabins, and ominous lake, it's less fun in the sun and more run for your life. Good catchphrase for Camp Blood. You're still safer there than Camp Arrowwag from Sleepaway Camp. The Cinema Snob discusses the characters of Friday the 13th, from the unsuspecting camp counselors to the mysterious Mrs. Voorhees. The Cinema Snob, smirking, we've got your typical horror movie archetypes here. The jock, the final girl, the stoner. I think they're all kind of stoners. And let's not forget dear old Mrs. Voorhees, the original helicopter parent gone mad. Hey man, what about To All a Good Night? The Cinema Snob analyzes the film's iconic kill scenes, evaluating their creativity and impact. The Cinema Snob excitedly. How did they kill Ned so soon? The Cinema Snob excitedly. Friday the 13th is known for its gruesome kills, from the classic arrow through the throat to, well, you'll just have to watch and see. Let's just say it's not for the faint of heart. Oh, now he's concerned about spoilers. Gave away Mrs. Voorhees. That sounds like he forgot the rest of the kills. Sort of like, yeah, it's got some great kills, man. There's the arrow through the throat. Hey, wait a minute. Isn't that Sleepaway Camp? There's the oh wait, okay. Arrow through the throat. Okay. Kevin Bacon. Gotcha. All right, we're on the same page here. The arrow through the throat and, some other stuff, too. Yeah, they always show the head chopping scene in the flashbacks in the other sequels. Okay, that's the excitedly part. We're past me being excitedly. The Cinema Snob explores the suspenseful moments of Friday the 13th and how they keep audiences on the edge of their seats. Unless you're Siskel and Ebert. The Cinema Snob, nodding. Tension is the name of the game here, my friends. I thought it was strip Monopoly. That's what they play in the movie. With every shadowy corner and rustling. Okay, there was a smudge on the screen. I was like, rustling busk. What? You're using fancy words, AI. Rustling bush. Okay. You can feel the dread building until, well, I won't spoil it for you. Because you already did. I don't want to repeat myself by spoiling it for you, Mrs. Voorhees. Or hockey masked killer that he said at the beginning. After a thorough analysis, the Cinema Snob delivers his verdict on Friday the 13th. The Cinema Snob, leaning back, Oh, probably because the television set is hurting my eyes. Leaning back. TV headache. Leaning back. Friday the 13th may have its flaws. I beg to differ. The cinema. The Cinema Snob has its flaws too. Friday the 13th may have its flaws, but it's understandably a horror classic that paved the way for countless imitators with its chilling atmosphere, memorable kills, as long as you're not confusing that as Sleepaway Camp, and iconic villain. It's a must-watch for any horror fan, even after all these years. The Cinema Snob bids farewell to his audience. Am I going somewhere? Is it my last episode? The Cinema Snob bids farewell to his audience, leaving them with a playful reminder to always check the date before heading to the summer camp. Cinema Snob smirking. I couldn't think of anything clever with the checking the date for the summer camp. Too many non-jokes going through my head. I came up with a blank. The Cinema Snob smirking. And that's it for today's review, my fellow snobsters. Remember, if you ever find yourself at Camp Crystal Lake on Friday the 13th, ooh, he's got a date joke now. If you ever find yourself at Camp Crystal Lake on Friday the 13th, just remember to pack an extra machete and maybe some good running shoes. Well, that ain't gonna. When Jason starts teleporting, that ain't gonna help you at all. He needed to wait to get on a boat before he got his teleportation powers. Jason was also in a rush to get to New York in Part 8. Why are we on a boat for this long? I'm going to start teleporting just to make things go faster. The Cinema Snob waves goodbye as the episode comes to a close. Bye. I always, whatever it has me waving goodbye at the end, I should make a short out of this. It always reminds me of just the end of To Catch a Yeti with the creepy puppet and I don't think is it animatronic? It can't, maybe animatronic sort of puppet arm waving, top of the world looking down on green. Best ending shot of any movie ever. The eerie waving goodbye ending of To Catch a Yeti. And stay snobby, my friends. Dude in the chat, don't go. No, I'm in character. I'm not leaving yet. Don't go, I just got here. No. You know that these streams, they end with me just silently waving goodbye as I look for the end screen to play the King Frat music. Well, that works out. King Frat from the co-writer of Friday the 13th. I love doing these things, man. I actually wish I had made 3 ChatGPT episodes. All right, let's go ahead and get to Nightmare on Elm Street. I had again, kind of like I did with Friday the 13th, had him do it in a couple of separate windows to see which one I like better. Skimmed both of them on Nightmare on Elm Street. They kind of came out about the same, really. So, when in doubt, go with the one that says the word snobsters. Okay, let's do Nightmare on Elm Street. The Cinema Snob reviews A Nightmare on Elm Street. The Cinema Snob sits in his familiar theater room. I mean, it must be that this and the Friday the 13th episode are all in the same theater room era. Surrounded by vintage movie posters and dimly lit by the glow on the screen. So, okay, we're still in the era where the television from Poltergeist is my light source. He holds up a DVD case with the title Nightmare on Elm Street prominently displayed. It's how the Friday the 13th one opened. I feel like this era of the Snob is definitely on autopilot. Cinema Snob with an intrigued one One eyebrow raised, I guess. Well, 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 my dear snobsters. That sounds like I should have been sitting in a chair, video open, and I just turn it around the other way. Well, 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 my snobsters. Today we're delving into the realm of dreams and nightmares with the iconic horror classic A Nightmare on Elm Street. So grab your pajamas and a cup of coffee, because we're about to enter the world of Freddy Krueger. Kind of like that about some of those movies. The first one in particular, where they got to stay awake, man. Nancy's got to stay awake. She's got Evil Dead on the TV. She's got those stay awake pill or no-dose or whatever it's called. Those pills. Brewing a cup of coffee. Yet still wants to be comfortable enough. So she's still in her pajamas. All right. Cinema Snob introduces A Nightmare on Elm Street, providing context about its release and impact on the horror genre. Cinema Snob nodding. Released in 1984. Yep. Nightmare on Elm Street introduced audiences to the sinister dream stalker Freddy Krueger and forever changed the landscape of horror cinema. True. We wouldn't have the movie Bad Dreams or Slumber Party Massacre 2 without Nightmare on Elm Street. The Bollywood version too. But does this slasher flick still hold up today? Let's find out. See, again, kind of like Friday the 13th. He's just using Mad Libs to write these at this point. Cinema Snob discusses the character Freddy Krueger, examining his iconic status and unique method of terrorizing his victims. Cinema Snob excitedly, as excitedly as Friday the 13th? Well, let's find out. Freddy Krueger, the burnt-faced boogeyman with a killer glove, is the stuff of nightmares. Wait a minute, I'm supposed to be excitedly, I'm sorry. But what sets him apart is his ability to haunt his victims in their dreams, turning sleep into a deadly game of survival. But I thought that the game of survival, or whatever the game thing was in Friday the 13th, I don't know. AI must be about to go on vacation, so he's using the same comparisons on both movies. The Cinema Snob explores the teenage protagonists of Nightmare on Elm Street, analyzing their roles and performances. Cinema Snob raising an eyebrow, mischievously though. The teenagers of Elm Street, blissfully unaware of the horrors lurking in their dreams, from the resourceful Nancy to the doomed Glenn. Again, spoiler alert. He's not quite. He came back in a drug PSA, and Freddy's dead. They're all pawns in Freddy's twisted game. The Cinema Snob examines the inventive and gruesome kills in Nightmare on Elm Street, evaluating their impact and creativity. When Freddy shot an arrow into somebody's throat. Cinema Snob grimacing. They're using different words to describe the same reactions on my face, or expressions, whatever. I need to borrow AI's thesaurus real quick. Nightmare on Elm Street is known for its creative kill scenes, from the iconic bathtub moment to, well, I won't spoil it for you. I pick and choose what I want to spoil. Glenn is doomed, but how is he doomed? Let's find out. Oops, never mind. That's spoiler territory. Let's just say Freddy's imagination knows no bounds. What do you mean? He didn't put a single person into a comic book in the first one, or a Nintendo game. The Cinema Snob discusses the surreal and nightmarish dream sequences in the film, highlighting their importance in building tension and atmosphere. Again, it's kind of written the same way. The Cinema Snob discusses this, and then evaluates what society thought of it. Cinema Snob, intrigued. Just tell me to put the same expression on my face. The dream sequences in Nightmare on Elm Street blur the lines between reality and fantasy, creating a sense of unease that lingers long after the credits roll. It's horror It's horror at its most psychological and unsettling. Cinema Snob gives his final verdict. You've hardly said anything relevant so far. What does the Cinema Snob think of this? Well, I don't want to spoil it for you. After a thorough analysis, delivers a verdict. All right, I said that. The AI is already repeating itself. I don't need to do the same thing. Cinema Snob leaning back because he's got to wrap the review up quick. He's getting the same headache from the television screen. Leaning back, Nightmare on Elm Street is a masterclass in horror filmmaking, blending inventive kills, psychological terror, and a truly iconic villain. And don't forget to bring your machete and hockey mask. You gotta pose for the cover of Sleepaway Camp 2. It's a must-watch for any horror aficionado. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm reviewing this for the horror aficionado who's not seen Nightmare on Elm Street yet. And it still manages to send shivers down your spine decades later. The Cinema Snob bids farewell to his audience. He's decided to come back for another final episode, leaving them with a playful reminder to always check under your bed before you go to sleep. Freddy won't be hiding under your bed. More so look out for Maurice from Little Monsters. Cinema Snob smirking. Duh. And that's it for today's review, my fellow snobsters. Remember, if you ever find yourself drifting off to sleep on Elm Street, just remember to keep one eye open. You never know when Freddy might come crawling. So make sure you sleep like Leon the Professional. The Cinema Snob waves goodbye. My signature waving goodbye at the end, singing Top of the World. As the episode comes to a close. Well, that was fun. Have to do the sequels at some point. All right. I'm doing those things, man. So I get a kick. Thank you for watching these with me. I really do, because I just get a kick out of them. So there'll be more in the future. I don't want to do them every week. Save it for like special occasions when I don't have anything else to talk about. Oh, I did see Society of the Snow last weekend. I'm still catching up on some movies from last year. I know I'll come across some that I'll be like, ooh, that would have made my top 10 list, but well, that's already done and published. Society of the Snow, yeah. That probably would have made my top 10, honestly. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get to your super chat questions. Let me get the window up here big enough. All right. I need AI to give me something to say in these quiet moments where I'm looking for the right tab. Okay. All right. Your super chat questions, people. Eclectic Anyway, have you heard of this upcoming film called Not Another Church Movie? It's apparently a parody. Why am I still reading? Sorry, I'm still reading it in my AI Cinema Snob voice. Have you heard of this upcoming film called Not Another Church Movie? I don't want to spoil the title for you. Have you heard of this upcoming film called Not Another Church Movie? It's apparently a parody of Tyler Perry films. Jamie Foxx plays God and Mickey Rourke plays the devil. All right. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm curious how that would go, because Tyler Perry movies can already be pretty unintentionally funny. He's got a drama coming up on Netflix, I think, towards the end of the month, and his best comedies are his thrillers. But Mea Culpa, I think it's called. I did ask for a screener for it earlier, but they wrote back and were like, yeah, we don't have any screeners for this one. I don't know if that meant yet or not. I'm hoping there was like a yet that didn't get said, and I'll get to see that early. I'll watch Not Another Church Movie. Yeah, I like that casting. Danny McGraw, hey Brad, what are some of your least favorite Bond movies? That's a good question, because I'm such a Bond freak that even that even the ones where I'd be like, okay, objectively, this is, on the lower end, I'll still have them on and watch them. Like, yeah, okay, you could probably rank, I don't know, not that this is my least favorite, but when you look at the lower rankings on a lot, like Moonraker will come up a lot. But Moonraker is so silly and campy that it's not boring, man. Like, it's fun. View to a Kill is very entertaining. So even those, it's like, well, they're still great to have on, especially if you're a Bond guy like me. I guess there's ones where I wouldn't go out of my way to rewatch because maybe not a lot happens. Like, I'm not even saying that this one is bad because I do at least respect it. Like, For Your Eyes Only, where it was kind of trying to steer that era of the more Bond movies into less something like Moonraker, Moonraker, or then after For Your Eyes Only, like Octopussy. Like, it is kind of the one that was sort of trying to get it back into being a little bit more semi-serious or grounded. Maybe not the opening with the smokestack, but more so in line with like his earlier ones like Live and Let Die. But I guess if I'm watching that era of more, I'd rather it be silly. I'd rather watch Octopussy or Moonraker or View to a Kill. Uh, Diamonds Are Forever, I don't think is bad. I don't think it's bad at all. It's distracting to me because of how much I love Lazenby. So it's like watching another Bond get Lazenby's revenge, like the opening scene where it opens with Bond going, "Where's Blofeld?" because of the events of Her Majesty's Secret Service. I watch it and I'm like, I wish it was George. I wish I was in that alternate universe, where it's Lazenby in this film and we see him get revenge. That part of it makes that film kind of distracting to me. Again, I don't think it's a bad movie. It has a lot of cool stuff in it. I don't dislike Quantum of Solace as much as a lot of other people do. I don't love it by any means, but it is kind of forgettable. It's okay. I don't mind. I'm glad I saw it, but it wouldn't be the first one that I would rewatch necessarily. But I don't know if I really have a least favorite, to be perfectly honest. Because I just love them all. I just love Bond. So it's like you put Bond Marathon on TBS. I know it's going to be on television in the house. Campbellzilla. What are some of your favorite foreign language films? Oh, geez. I can think of plenty that are dubbed. Do Fulci movies count? Let me think. I love the shit out of Run Lola Run. That is an 80-minute blast from start to finish, man. Alphaville. That's a really good one. Half of the cast in Caligula is speaking a foreign language. Again, dubbed, but the same with Salon Kitty. Why not that? Some of that movie is subtitled when it's the extended version where they couldn't dub some of the scenes. Just off the top of my head, I'll say Run Lola Run. Campbellzilla. Would you ever consider doing Cop Rock, Hull High, or Viva Laughlin episodes for Musical March in September? Yeah, man. I've wanted to do an entire series run of Cop Rock for so long. It's a big commitment, It'd be a supersized episode for sure. I was talking about this on like one of the previous episodes, where like kind of my dream episode of like a whole series run review of the Snob is the Cold War miniseries from the 80s America. Not that it is campy at all. It's just one of those things where it's like, just to say I did it. I did an episode on the 13-hour miniseries America with a K. Cop Rock would have more material for sure, but if I do America, then I totally will cop rock. Whole High, yeah, I guess I would. I way more so remember cop rock. Viva Laughlin would be easy because it's only 2 episodes. 2 of the best weeks in television, man. Someone needs to unearth the tapes of the unaired episodes of Viva Laughlin. There was at least a handful of them made. One of the actors from it was talking about how he was revealed to be the killer in it. The end of the second episode shows a preview for a third episode. So there's at least like 6. I think I remember reading that at some point. Sorry, it's kind of hot in here. Fiddling with this button. Like, do I want to show too much chest hair or not? Hanging out goes. Been a fan since Noah hosted you. Oh, thank you very much. What was the episode that he put up? That Noah put up. It was oh man, wasn't it a Sasquatch movie? Shriek of the Mutilated? Was that it? Shriek of the Mutilated, and I think he also hosted Zombie 6. Zombie 6 Monster Hunter, I think is what it was called. I more so remember Zombie 6 because it's a straight up Halloween ripoff that's like kind of Anthropophagus 2, sort of. Shriek of the Mutilated, I barely freaking remember. I hardly remember the title. Was that it? Shriek of the Mutilated? Someone in the chat will know if I'm getting that wrong. Matt Florak goes, do you like bubbles? I should do that again. Do you like bubbles? I put together a short of that yesterday. The do you like bubbles clip. It's part of the fun is doing those shorts is just like tightening it, like take it like it's like, okay, I want the do you like bubbles clip, but there's got to be more to it than that, like a bit at the beginning of that clip and a bit after, but it's like taking out stuff where it's like well there's no context for this because it references something earlier, or this joke I probably wouldn't do if I wrote this episode today. That might look weird in a short. So yeah, I put that Cinema Snob short up earlier. The do you like bubbles clip. Jacob Matthew Crawford. I gave Class of 86 to my grandpa for Christmas. He never spoke to me again. Was it the Bruce edition? He found it an interesting read. That's what my relatives say too. It was interesting. No, thank you. Thank you very much. He found it an interesting read. He really liked what was done with Fletcher and Rod in the third act. Yeah, I like doing the character of Fletcher. If you people haven't read it, he's the nerdy kid in it who disaster happens to him at the beginning. So you've seen Slaughter High and Prom Night and Terror Train. You know what happens when these pranks go wrong. But writing in a backstory for Fletcher and the like kind of yuppie or preppy bully guy Rod and it writing their backstories was something that it wasn't in the script that I wrote for it a long time ago. It was cool to add that for the book to kind of fill in a lot of gaps there, especially the Rod flashbacks, because I got to write it as like I wrote it kind of like it was like an 80s like drug PSA that has Estes Perkle in it. Senor Sticks, could the Cinema Snob movies win a Razzie? I would be honored. I would show up to get that award. I would. A couple people have done that. I think Halle Berry did that. Sandra Bullock did that. Tom Green, I think, showed up to get it. Yeah, man. If I got any kind of Razzie nomination, you bet your ass I would be there. I'm robbed every single year. Even years I don't make a movie, I'm still robbed for my Razzie. MH We Nation, did you see the 2000 remake of Slumber Party Massacre? No, I keep forgetting that was remade. Yeah, man, I need to do that. I need to do an episode on that. Just to if anything, I can put all the episodes together in a compilation video that I would put up like at the end of the year, or if I'm taking some time off or something like that. Oh yeah, for sure. I hear it's bad. I just watched the It's Alive 2009 remake, and it was every franchise, it's got that 2000s remake where they're all kind of generic, they all kind of look the same. It's Alive 2009 was a little unique in that most of the movie is dubbed like badly 80, not dubbed as in it's a foreign language remake. It's badly ADR'd, which was weird because that was a problem I had with the second one. The second one, there was a lot of very obvious ADRing going into it, or going on in it. But that I could at least chalk up to this was probably made quick. There's a lot of they're using a lot of ADR to fill in kind of gaps in the plot. Maybe it's just not done especially well, or it's done very obvious. The It's Alive remake is different. It isn't ADR because of that. It just is. It's kind of like you're watching Dancing It's On. It's not as low budget as Dancing It's On, but the episode's over on Patreon right now if you want to get an early look at it. That was the most surprising thing to me about that movie. Jacob Matthew Crawford. Here's a question that'll take you way back. How did you feel when you got to interview Uwe Ball on Radiodrome? What was going through your head? I do remember doing that. A podcast I used to be on, Radiodrome. There was a few interviews we had, I think, and the one with Uwe Ball, I remember it going fine, because he always has stuff to say, so he's a good person to interview. What was mainly going on in my head was we were all tired. At least I was. I think others were too, because it was a time zone thing. He was probably in Germany, I guess, is probably where he was when we did the interview. So we were in wildly different time zones. So for him, obviously, like, he wanted to be interviewed when he's awake, probably sometime during the day for him. For us, it was we had to set our alarms for like 3 in the morning or something like that, 3 or 4 in the morning, early. It was some time where it was like we have to set our alarms to wake up and do this interview. So I kind of remember mainly just being tired, but luckily he can talk for a while, so that makes him a good interview subject if you're feeling a little sleepy from just waking up. Eclectic Ennui, what was your favorite Norman Jewison film? Let me actually double check. I like Fiddler on the Roof. But I doubt that's my favorite. I just don't want to leave out anything. Come on, just give me a list. Give me a list. AI, tell me some. Oh, In the Heat of the Night is great. Moonstruck. In the Heat of the Night might be the one that I've seen the most. I like Fist. I think Fist is really underrated. I forget that Stallone didn't direct that. Fist or Stallone, that's really underrated. Where Stallone is basically Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Okay. The original Thomas Crown Affair. Very stylish, well made. What they do with the editing, with like multiple angles on the same scene, that's a really cool flick. Rollerball, man, freaking Rollerball is awesome. I've seen that one more than I've seen In the Heat of the Night. Of all of his movies, probably Rollerball is my favorite, dude. Yeah, man, James Caan, a James Caan futuristic death sport movie on roller skates and have like spikes on their gloves, and in this future where they hate the environment so much they'll just be at like a Met Gala like event and then just go outside and start blowing up trees with a ray gun. Mm. Yeah, dude, I love Rollerball. Remake, not so much. Senor Sticks, is it time for an AI Cinema Snob to? Is it time for AI Cinema Snob to rise and review? I don't know what that means. I will have to ask ChatGPT what that means. To rise and review. It sounds like something that ChatGPT would say that the Cinema Snob is doing. Mm-mm. The Cinema Snob rises and reviews. Yes, but am I smirking? Am I raising an eyebrow right now? Am I mischievous? Am I just tell me what to do with my face? Just give me a word. It'll be the same expression, I guarantee it. I'm sorry, I really don't know what you mean by that. James Moyner, if you could make a film that won Best Picture, if you could make a film that won Best Picture, if you could make a film that won Best Picture, never made, what would it be? For me, the choice is simple: American Beauty. Are you asking me if which movie that won Best Picture do I wish had never been made? Jared's in the chat. I think he said. I think he means, is it time for Cinema Snob to rise and take over? Oh yes, it is. Rise of the cinema. Is it a Rise of the Machines reference? Well, we'll see what ChatGPT Cinema Snob thinks of Terminator 3. Okay. Best Picture movie I wish was never made. It's not I like American Beauty. It's not that. If you could make a film, so I don't know. Never made. I don't know if I'd say that about any of them really, because even if it's something that won Best Picture that I didn't like necessarily, clearly a lot of other people do. So it's whatever. I don't. I'm trying to think of what's something that won Best Picture that I didn't like. There's some that maybe that I didn't love, but like straight up hate. I don't know, man. There's been movies that are nominated that I didn't like. I really didn't like Triangle of Sadness, dude. I really didn't. But again, I guess the voters did. Bohemian Rhapsody wasn't very good. That was nominated. That was nominated for Best Picture. Yeah, I don't know. Like there's stuff where usually my favorite movie of the year doesn't win Best Picture. It doesn't make me mad. I'm just kind of used to it. Will Day. Hey, Brad, did you know that there's a Bob Hope movie with Jeffrey Hunter and Phyllis Diller as Adam and Eve? Oh, I should watch this. I was already sold on the Adam and Eve movie that Mamie Van Doren was in. Adam and Eve, what was it called? The Private Life of Adam and Eve, Private Tales of Adam and Eve, something like that. Sexploitation film with Mamie Van Doren where Mickey Rooney dresses like a snake. He's Satan, and they're being tempted by the toy maker himself, Mickey Rooney. No, I'll watch that. There's one I wish I could do an episode on this. There's an Adam and Eve movie. I've referenced it before. It's an exploitation flick from probably the 80s. Adam and Eve versus the Cannibals, or Adam and Eve and the Cannibals, something like that. Adam and Eve something cannibals, and it's a cannibals exploitation flick, as you might have guessed, but it stars Mark Gregory of the Thunder Warrior movies, Trash from Bronx Warriors flicks. He plays Adam in it, but it's Adam and Eve, and it's an exploitation film, so it is chock full of the characters just being naked pretty much from beginning to end. It would be very hard to do an episode on, but I wish I could do an episode on that. cannibal Adam and Eve movie. Oh, hell yeah. Maybe the Bob Hope one has less nudity in it. Bronson Wright Wolf. Have you ever seen the 2005 remake of Dark Water? The Jennifer Connelly one. He says the ending of the movie is very sad. No, I actually didn't see that. I don't know why. There was a period, it kind of in the mid 2000s, there was a period where I wasn't really going to see everything that was out because I was in between jobs a lot in the mid 2000s, and whatever money I was making, I was spending on booze. So I probably wanted to get drunk instead of seeing Dark Water. Water? No, get that away from me. Dark liquor? Well, now you're speaking my language. But no, I never did see that one, actually. The ending of the It's Alive remake is actually pretty sad, too. I'll give it that about the remake of It's Alive. The ending is not bad. The movie's not good at all. But the ending, it does make me wish it was in a better movie. Yeah, that episode's on Patreon right now. Normail says, first time making it here for a live show. That's why there's a balloon in the number 1 next to the comment. Congratulations. It's your first birthday. Thanks for over a decade of laughs. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. It's, after all these years, still fun to do, man. I was talking about this. I was trying to talk about it at the beginning, but just jumped on camera real quick for making sure the temperature was okay, making sure my windows were up. I was getting a little tongue-tied at the beginning of this episode, but I was trying to say I still have fun doing so many of these episodes. The one that I'm going to be editing and posting up on Patreon next, the original version of a remake that's coming out. I had such a blast doing this, so I hope it'll be an episode you guys like too. Some people in the chat have already guessed what it is. It's an I've seen the movie before many times, so I already know it's awesome. Nathan Palmer, are you a fan of Robert Rodriguez's The Faculty? I do remember liking that, but I only saw it when it came out. I don't even think I saw it in did I see it in I think I might have rented it right when it hit video. I think me, Dave, and Buford may have rented that one. And yeah, I remember us watching it over at Dave's. I kind of remember liking it. I kind of remember thinking it was funny. A 90s horror version of there was this book series that I read when I was a kid. I wish I could remember the author, but it was a series of 4 of them, and I liked them. They were fun. It would actually be cool if they turned these into movies. The book was called My Teacher is an Alien. I think that was the name of the version. It had a very direct title like that, My Teacher's an Alien or My Substitute Teacher's an Alien, something like that. And there was 4. There was My Teacher Glows in the Dark. That was one. My Teacher Fried My Brains was one. Oh, I wish I could remember that. I swear there was 4 of them. And they were all fun. And what I liked about them was it was kind of the same group of characters that were in each book, but each book, one of them was the main character. They would switch off being the main characters. So if one was just kind of one of the friends in the first, he might be the main character in the second one. It would do cool things like that. I remember liking this book series when I was a kid. And The Faculty reminded me of that when it was coming out with the Teacher Aliens. But The Faculty has standout over-the-top performances in it. The scene with Jon Stewart is really memorable. Robert Patrick is a lot of fun in it. Yeah, I kind of remember liking that. I don't know what I'd think of it now. It probably the same, honestly. My taste isn't that much different. I hear they're remaking it. I hear they're remaking The Faculty. Bronson Wright Wolf, did you ever watch The Price is Right? If so, what is your favorite game on the show? Also, what are your thoughts on Drew Carey hosting the show? No, Price is Right is it wasn't my go-to game show. Even though it tops all of the lists for sure. There's so many memorable and classic games within the show, and it is such a well put together, well thought out and planned series. But as for me sitting there watching it, it wasn't that I disliked it at all. It just was one that I never set out to watch, really. And if I did, it was usually just because it was on. And I would end up watching something else. Like, I'd probably just watch a movie or something like that. Game shows that I did watch. Match Game, man. Where I'm a huge Richard Dawson fan, so Match Game I loved. Dawson's Family Feud I loved. Wheel of Fortune, I like playing along with the type of games that Wheel of Fortune is, guess the word, all that. I like playing along with that kind of game, so I dig Wheel of Fortune. But Match Game, man, it's great because it's awesomely 70s as hell. And they would film when you would watch Match Game, like, the more it went on during the week, the drunker they would get. So, they would shoot like more than one episode a day, but would have some drinks in between. So by the time they would got to like maybe the last episode they would shoot that day, they would be significantly a bit tipsier, which makes for even better television. Oh, Hollywood Squares I loved because Paul Lynde's a comedic genius. So you give me that era where people are just kind of snarky and shit-faced, it is awesome. Not enough drunkenness on Price is Right. Needed way more leisure suits and more drunkenness. James Moyner, a better question for you than my previous one. Would you consider for Musical March some of the post-Disney Sherman Brothers films like Tom... Okay, yeah. Tom Huck Finn, and the Magic of Lassie. Dude, yes. I've seen that Tom Huck, the music, or I'm sorry, Tom Huck. Tom Sawyer. I've seen the musical one that has Jodie Foster in it. Yeah, maybe I would do that one. Huck Finn. I think I've only really seen the Elijah Wood one. Magic of Lassie. Yeah, dude. Because of the Lassie movies, The Magic of Lassie is the one that I saw the most. It wasn't until I was older that I found out, like, oh, that actually really bombed when it was in theaters. And it was, like, Jimmy Stewart's last big screen live action role, I think. And for a while, it obviously there were some Lassie movies after it, but it was a long while after that one where there was another Lassie movie. So The Magic of Lassie, it's like 78, 77, 78 or something like that. It bombed, and I think they chalked it up to being like, well, people want to see Star Wars, they don't want to see this Lassie stuff. So, okay, Magic of Lassie, it's this millionaire old bastard shows up at Jimmy Stewart's farm where his grandson and they have Lassie, and then this billionaire recognizes that, wait a minute, this was one of my prized collie show dogs who ran away when she was a puppy, and he recognizes her because Lassie has a tattoo on the back of her neck, and he sees it and is just like, I know this dog. This is my property. He can't just let it go, man. This millionaire asshole, he can't let it go. He can't be like, well, clearly she's got a good home here. The kid loves her, and who doesn't like Jimmy Stewart? No, this old guy is like, legally, this is mine. So she's coming back with me. And so, the kid's crying and all that. Millionaire guy takes the dog back to his place. I remember this dude. The dude The guy if you want to picture what the rich guy looks like in it, cross like Dr. Phil with Vic Morrow. That is what my memory is telling me that this guy looks like. So the guy has Lassie back at his mansion and is just like, they named you Lassie. No, your name is not going to be Lassie. Your name is something else. What is it? Ah, I know. Your new name is Heather Bell. Lassie does not respond to Heather Bell in this. He keeps trying to say Heather Bell. And then it's like, why am I watching Lassie in Roots? Speaking of Vic Morrow. Lassie runs away and the kid runs away too. Neither realizes the other person has ran away. At one point, Lassie ends up with like a couple of like hobos. One of them's Mickey Rooney. Yeah, dude. I would do Magic of Lassie for sure. The reason I've seen it so much, Nickelodeon used to show it a lot. There's a lot of like Nickelodeon used in the 90s and 80s. Nickelodeon used to have like this 2-hour block in the middle of I forget if it was Saturday or Sunday, but one of the two. It was called Special Delivery. Sometimes it would be you would get like, you know, 30 minutes of like the 30-minute fairy tales. Here's this Japanese Beauty and the Beast. Here's the Brave Little Tailor for 30 minutes. Things like that. But then sometimes they would show like TV movies. Some of them Canadian TV movies. I remember there being a TV movie with Christy McNichol. Forget what it was called, but she's like an orphan in it who makes friends with a kid in a wheelchair. And one was like, you might see like a TV movie about a country music family, but they used to like showing the Magic of Lassie a lot during Special Delivery. And yeah, that was how I've seen that movie more than once. And I'm a kid watching it, being like, "Oh, this must be considered to be a classic. They're showing it so much." And no, not really. Not really considered to be a classic. All right, looks like this is the last one. Bronson Wright Wolf. Back when Drew Carey first started hosting The Price is Right. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you asked me what I thought of Drew Carey on the show. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's really good. I mean, Bob Barker's iconic as hell, but no, Drew Carey's a good fit for that show. Back when Drew Carey first started hosting, Bob Barker took Drew Carey out to lunch. He told him to make the show his own and to not try to copy him. Bob Barker beat Adam Sandler up. Well, that's Drew Carey doesn't want to copy him, so Drew Carey's not been in a movie where Adam Sandler beats him up, to my knowledge. Maybe he has. I've not seen many of the Adam Sandler movies of the past decade. I barely saw most of them when in theater. The Netflix era Sandler, I haven't seen a lot. I saw The Ridiculous Six. I saw Hubie Halloween. Well, I love the hell out of Uncut Gems, but that's theatrical. That's not Netflix. I've heard that there's some Sandler ones on Netflix that actually aren't bad, just not the ones I've seen. So I don't know. Maybe on one of those, he beats up Drew Carey. All right. Well, that was fun. Thank you for the great questions, by the way. I love you guys' questions, seriously. Got to reminisce about Magic of Lassie and all that. Yeah, man. Any time where I get to tell the story about, remember when this millionaire asshat renamed Lassie to Heather Bell? That should have made just as much money as Star Wars. Instead, it probably made as much money as Damnation Alley. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll go ahead and get on out of here. Scoot my window over. And got to get to that moment where I'm pulling up the ending theme. Okay. Again, subscribe to us here. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. Click the notification bell so you get all your notifications when we go live, when new videos go up, when shorts go up. You can see early Cinema Snob over on Patreon as well. And come see us at Days of the Dead Chicago, coming up March 22nd through the 24th. And I gotta say the line, dude. Gotta say, stay snobby, my friends. No, you're right. In the chat, they're like, I gotta wave. I gotta, yeah. I gotta do the wave, and then say, stay snobby, my friends. Okay, how do I wave while hitting the end button?